Come on, let's go. Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Ohayo gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, wherever you are around the world. This is actually our afternoon League of Extraordinaries, which is morning in East Asia. So we will likely have some folks that are coming in from Asia as well. Not too many people from Europe and Africa and the Middle East, I would guess, given how late it is, but sometimes we do get some folks coming in. So this one is primarily Americas and East Asia. The purpose of the conversation is to help you and help you connect up with leaders who are becoming aware now with this meeting of what you do, who you help, how you change the game so that you can hopefully continue to build out your business referral network. There's several things that happen during this meeting. There's during the meeting, we are taking notes and recording primarily who you want to meet. And what that means is who the best people you are to meet. I was talking to a prospective member, and it sounds like he's going to sign up maybe even today. And I was telling him about this program where sometimes somebody, not so often, but sometimes we'll hear someone say, well, everybody's my client. And the people usually at Global Tribe are smarter than that. And they know that by being as specific as you can, it's actually a positive thing for us to think about people we may be able to connect you with. So think about the fact that both Cesar Trabanco is here and I'm here, and we're both taking notes. And we'll also be following up after this meeting and going through those notes and see if there's additional people to connect you with. And there's people in this room that both know or don't know you, and they're going to be very valuable as well. There's looks like at this point only 20, although I think we have quite a more that are signed up, so we may have some more folks coming in. Hopefully some of those folks will become business referral folks for you as well. That's the purpose of League of Extraordinaries. And so good luck, have fun, keep smiling. Let's go to Rich Wolverton first, because Rich knows the process. Rich is really a great example of a member of Global Chamber, because he's like superhuman in the world of the food business, the food service industry. He is as deep an expert as you could ever find. And what's even more powerful is he has team members who are equally proficient and connected in the food industry. And so Rich, really loved your Globinar that you gave and the information that you shared. It was just phenomenal. Who today can we help you meet, and how else can we help you here today?
Thanks for that, Doug. I appreciate it. We really did enjoy doing the webinar. It was a good process for us to go through, and then we've gotten a couple leads out of that, even outside the chamber. So, but it's led to some great discussions within the chamber. So we really appreciate that. So Grow Food Service, what we do is we help generally emerging brands that want to get into food service distribution in the United States. We help them with that process all the way from the GS1 qualifications, getting their information straight, make sure they're delivering the message to the right folks, which are the chefs and distributors. And so we have clients in Italy right now. We're talking to some really good people out of Mexico and some other folks, some Swedish folks that saw the webinar that we did. So they can be domestic in the US already, or they can be a company from somewhere else in the world that's interested in the US market. And even if you say, well, we're not ready yet, but I wonder what it takes, let's have a chat. You know, we'll spend an hour with you to talk about that and help you understand what's needed to get into the US market. Thank you.
Sounds good. Does anybody have any questions? We'll have, because we're probably somewhere around 5 minutes total or no, I did the math wrong, didn't I? So 20. So actually, it's only about 3 minutes each. So we don't have a lot of time for questions. But are there any questions? Anybody do any work in the food industry or have connections there? Tamer, I see Tamer is here. I didn't see you earlier, so welcome, Tamer. And he does have connections in the food industry. So welcome. Definitely, we should get you two connected. On my screen, you're right
Thank
next to
you.
each other. So do you feel the energy between the two of you? It's very
It's
powerful.
booming. And then Tim, did you have a question?
I, I was just curious if in your operation you do anything with this kind of um, nascent these virtual kitchens because these are seeming to become more and more popular.
Yeah, ghost kitchens definitely had their rise during COVID, and we've actually seen them back off a little bit. It's a very challenging time in the business with rising food costs, rising costs in general, energy costs, labor costs, everything. But yeah, it's something that we've helped folks with, and there's some really good folks like Walbao that are doing a tremendous job in that space.
Um, Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. Please, for Rich, you please put your information in the chat area. For all of you, feel free to even multiple times put your information in. That's fine. And one of the things that happens after this meeting, it didn't happen the last time because there was somebody else, and I don't think we communicated the desire to do this, but we put a LinkedIn post in, and we'll get that out tomorrow morning with all of you hyperlinked. And another reason why it's good to have your name and your information on your chat area so that we can record you and make sure we don't lose you. One of the long-term original members of Global Chamber is Gloria Peterson, and she's been a phenomenal member on many levels. And one of the most important ones is her leadership with the book author program, which we've taken from about 10 authors to over 100. And I know there are some book authors here, including Rutherford. Shout out to Rutherford Pascal and his book. Gloria also helps with young people and professionals and others in business to be able to facilitate their professionalism and their way of doing business, including customs and culture. And so, Gloria, thank you for all that you do in business. Thank you for all that you've done at Global Chamber, and we really always appreciate you. Who would you like to meet, and how can we help you today?
Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction. You always give great introductions. What I'm actually looking for are corporate trainers because I've been in my industry of conducting seminars and training on professional presence, business etiquette protocol, cultural etiquette, international protocol for over 30 years. And I've kind of reached a point where I decided it's time to pass the baton and train others in the knowledge and experiences that I have attained over that period of time. So I created the Global Protocol Academy as a result of that. So what I'm looking for, again, are corporate trainers who would like to integrate my knowledge into their system. And even though they might think they already teach everything there is to know about those three topics, trust me, they don't. There's so much more to it because they don't have my background and experience, and I'd like to share that with them. So that's probably primary right now. As a result of that, too, I also like to, let me rephrase that. I really enjoy being a keynote speaker and a breakout session at conventions and conferences. Now that COVID is over and the hospitality industry is opening up and companies are becoming more comfortable with their trade shows, their conventions, their conferences, and they're looking for speakers to slot into those areas. I've done a lot in that area over the years, and I really enjoy it. So that would be another great one. And thirdly, I am also an author. As Doug mentioned, I started the author community, I think in 221 maybe. But again, another way of me moving forward is to also pass the baton. And I pass that baton down up to Dana Austin. So those of you who are authors and want some exposure, and the main thing is to share the inspiration. I think people feel more connected to a book if they understand and learn why the author was inspired to write the book in the first place. To me, that is so key because it says a lot about the book and it says a lot about the content. So please reach out to Dana Austin if you're interested in joining that. I do want to share my books because that's part of the other part of my world. I have them stacked here, but the 4 books that I do have are these. These are professional development books. You go this way. Yeah, I can. Anyway, they're on my website. But so you can see, it's really funny when I wrote these books, and I wrote the first one, which 7 Steps to Impressive Greetings and Confident Interactions. That's like the foundation to all the others. If you can't do this, you can't do that. So I tried to write them in that this one leads into that one, leads into that one, leads into that one. And I thought I had the most information because of my training came mainly from this particular type of topic. But as I started moving on, they just kept getting thicker and getting thicker. And I thought, oh my God, where did I get all the information? But when I started digging through all that I knew and all that I had, I was even shocked at how much I had attained over the years. More recently, during COVID, I decided to make some use of COVID time and not whine or complain or be sad or upset, because if the hospitality industry is gone, so is my business gone. I did a lot of reflecting. And in that reflection, I kept coming across this pattern, this trend called mindfulness. It's kind of, and I decided to investigate it further, go deeper into what exactly is all this mindfulness that people are talking about. Mindful eating, mindful exercise, mindful thinking, mindful everything. So I really dived into it. And during that time, I decided to write a journal on that topic. So I deviated from my original expertise and went to a little different, more of a personal development. Because guess what? I think I did things backwards. If you don't have the right mindset to learn the skill, guess what? You're not going to utilize the skill to its full potential. That's what I've learned. So I kind of backed up and I thought, well, I'm going to help people develop that mindset first, and I'll do it through a journal. And so I did this one. What it does is it combines mindful thinking, but also health watch and I could have said smartwatch, but I want you to think about your exercise. And if you can discipline yourself to maybe 6,000 steps a day, you're really doing your brain a lot of good. It loves 6,000 steps a day. It loves walking. It loves that because it energizes the brain. And I had a medical situation that I won't go into this time. But then I also did a Spanish version. Okay. I know we got to move on. But I did an English and Spanish version.
And so Maria, if you haven't met Maria, she is probably somebody you need to meet.
Okay.
So she's on the call here today. So
Okay.
we'll give you a little bit of break, Maria, because I know you just kind of came on. So we'll get you into the flow. So Gloria, thank you. Put your information in the chat area. Let's keep going around the room. And I mentioned that there's probably not going to be anybody from Africa, but there is. So Rhodes Atukwaze is here. He has a nonprofit. Rhodes, would you like to share, please? How can we help you today? Are you able to speak? Are you available? You'll need to unmute yourself, though.
Yes, thanks, Doug. It's been quite long, and I'm happy to be here with you all on this Zoom. It's 2:14 a.m. here in Uganda. And as Doug has introduced me, I'm the founder for Child Network Organization. In Uganda, we're empowering vulnerable communities to provide a chance to the children in need, the vulnerable mothers, and as well I'm representing the Global Chamber as the Global Advisor in Kampala, Uganda. I'm so happy to meet you all. Thank you so much.
Rhodes, who would you like to meet? What's the most help that we can give you today?
Well, thanks, Doug, for the opportunity. In the field of, I've been following the technology AI development in the business and also foreign trade, the exports and imports. I'd love to meet anyone interested in the AI business. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. That sounds great. Rhodes Atukwaze, if you could put your information, maybe your LinkedIn profile. I know you have one in the chat area. That would be great. And being in Kampala, Uganda, that's a great opportunity. If you're doing any work in Africa, Rhodes is one of those trusted resources that we have across the continent. So thank you, Rhodes, for sharing. What time is it there?
Well, it's 16 minutes past 2 a.m. early in the morning in Kampala.
Thank you very much. We really
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much, Doug.
Well, let's go to a better time for doing business. And Gary Moulton, you're a new member, but you and I have known each other for a long time, and so it was really a pleasure to speak with you here recently and talk about some shared folks that we know. And so, thank you for sharing, doing some great work, and I think unique work within Global Chamber. So would you be able to share with us who you want to meet and how
Sure.
it can help?
Sure. Thanks, Doug, and I appreciate meeting everyone virtually. Gary Moulton, I'm with Schooley Mitchell, and Schooley Mitchell is a cost reduction specialist company. We work in the US and in Canada. And the best way I would describe what I do and to kind of trigger who I'm looking for, first of all, I focus in manufacturing personally, although we can work in any industry. Any industry with about 10 employees most likely has business expenses that we can help them reduce. But I do focus in manufacturing. So think of any manufacturing client or an opportunity there. And what I would suggest is you think of me when you have a client who's complaining about budget constraints. Maybe it's a project you're working with them on, and they simply just don't have the funds to complete that project, or they're complaining about the cost of business increasing. That's where we can come in and take a look at some of their different cost categories and see if we can't help them reduce those expenses and use that money for more productive things, such as sales and marketing or employee benefits or other things of that nature.
You're based in Arizona, but you work across, it doesn't really matter where the company is.
That's correct. Thanks for pointing that out, Doug. That's exactly right. So I am in northern Arizona. I do get down in the valley quite a bit. And then also, as Doug pointed out, I can provide services again across the US and also in Canada. And one of the things that makes us unique, and I'll end with this, is over the last 25 years, we've developed national benchmarking data. And that's what gives us the ability to go in and really analyze and assess some of these different expenses. And it can be significant in a lot of situations. And so we can look at it, and about 80% of the time, believe it or not, we can negotiate with the existing vendor. They don't even have to switch vendors. About 80% of the time, we're able to reduce those costs and help them get on the right service and moving forward without even switching.
Great methodology. And Gary is just one of those Renaissance folks that's been involved in a lot of different businesses. And the last time we met was like a decade ago. And some of you in Phoenix remember James Powers, Dr. James Powers, just an amazing gentleman. And he owned the company that Gary was working on when I guess I met you a dozen years or so ago. Dr. Powers passed away and just
recently. Yeah.
Just an extraordinary man, and we really appreciate you now as a member and look forward to helping and supporting your success. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Let's now go to actually another one of my hometowns, Salt Lake City, and we were talking about Cottonwood and the Cotton Bottom and some of the places in Salt Lake and one of the top universities in the world, the University of Utah. All right, Christina Wachter, she's an expert. Hey, there you go. That's right. I forgot. I should have made the bridge. Gary went to Westminster, and probably a little bit less known, but there you go. And so Westminster is just one of those really extraordinary schools. Not as good as the U, of course, but but nonetheless not bad and actually quite excellent on 13th East. Christina, you have just an outstanding cross-cultural background and expertise. You actually even teach it, and it's part of your business. Could you let us know who you would like to meet and how we can help?
Yes, thank you, Doug. And, go Utes always.
There you go.
It's interesting. I just took my dog for a walk by the Cotton Bottom today, and the hamburger smelled so good. I was dying. If you folks are ever in Salt Lake City, you've got to go to Cotton Bottom for the best hamburgers ever.
The best garlic burgers in the world,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Okay, as Doug said, I'm a professor at the University of Utah, and I have been studying cross-culture communication patterns for decades. And I, like Gloria, I am a speaker. I do workshops as well. I released a book recently. I've done textbooks and other articles, but this is the more for the masses book called Culture Spin Method. And I have a 4-step toolkit that I put in my educational platform based on my years of research and how to communicate across cultures effectively. And it's a simple 4-step method, and you can take this toolkit anywhere in the world and apply the tools because it's a very personalized method. So I do individual coaching for managers and executives who are either working abroad or dealing with people who are in different countries, even if they are not actually going to the countries, to help them uncover their personal biases and learn the cultural savvy for profitable business exchange. And I do this through workshops, speaking, individual coaching, and I'm open to any type of educational platform, really. So people who are relocating, I can help you. People who are just working internationally, we can build a cultural bridge together, get over the cultural divides that separate us and bring us together as humans and connect in ways that matter.
And you are an author.
Yes, I am an author. Culture Spin Method on Amazon.com. It's a little book with an overview of, I'll put a link in the chat after we're done. But anyway, it's a short book, but it's an overview of my spin method. And it's a compilation of research from, like I said, my many decades of experience, plus working with people from every single inhabited continent. So it's a lot of powerful stuff in a very quick read.
Fantastic. Congratulations, and thanks for joining today. Let's continue to go around the room. And Maria of Dallas Colleges, are you available to talk? I see pictures of 2 people there. So I don't know if one of those is you. Are you able to speak and let us know?
I am.
You're driving? Oh my goodness.
Well, no, I parked.
Oh, good.
I'm safe.
Okay.
I'm safe. I already arrived home, but I don't want to go in because I live in a home where I have multi-generations. So I have a 94-year-old mom and a 4-year-old toddler. So I don't want to go in there. So I'm just sitting in my car, but I'm safe. But
Very good.
And thank you so much, Doug, for trying to herd us cats from Dallas College. I really appreciate this chamber. I wear many hats. One of the hats I wear, I'm the Dean of Special Academic Programs. That means I have all the honor students and the Greek Society. So they are the best of the best students. We're 120,000 student big. But we do need opportunities for students to have global education and to be globally competitive. And so that's what we're about in Dallas. We're in DFW, so it's a hub. So we're always looking for how you could help me in my role at Dallas College would be possibilities of internships, apprenticeships. We can do a panel like we did in the past, where we have global leaders talking to students what makes them competitive. And I also wear a hat. I'm a consultant. I came with an investment visa 15 years ago with my consulting firm that my husband's keeping alive while I am a full-time employee at Dallas College. And so we've been developing artificial intelligence books about how to apply artificial intelligence in marketing, in human resources, because we're very strong at organizational development. We've reorganized, from very huge organizations to a small nonprofit. And so I'm doing that on the side as a side gig. And so we can do strategic planning. I'm also a keynote speaker. I'm a content expert in sustainability. For 8 years, I was the chief sustainable officer for one of our campuses. So they call me a lot about that because the mayor of Dallas appointed me as a commissioner. in the Environmental Commission. So depending on what you need, if you need a keynote speaker on sustainability or how to create a business here in the US, we created our business. This is the way we got our green card and now our citizenship. And then also as an educator and empowering youth to become more global competent. That's what I'm here to offer. And I love networking. I love creating bridges. I put my email there. I was driving, so it was on a red light that I put that there. I didn't put my LinkedIn, but now I can go on my LinkedIn and put it on. You know, I'm always doing multi things, Doug. You know me. Thank you for creating this space for us. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for sharing. Dallas College is there's a it's a lot of students, right? How large is the system? Oh, I think you're already
I'm muted and I'm doing this on my phone. We're 120,000 students big. Yeah. We have more than 100 careers and certificates. We're always looking for business partners too, because we need to prepare the workforce for what is needed. So we have a huge workforce side of the house that can not only do ad hoc training for companies, but is also tweaking our program so that when our students go out in the world, they have the pertinent education they need. So yeah, we're 120,000 students big, and we just had 7 graduations. We're exhausted.
Wow, amazing!
Because it was thousands of students graduating. But yes, I'm here to serve and to work with any partners that want to work. I'm part now of the International Education and Global Competitiveness Division. So my boss and I work all those international relations. And so anybody who wants to explore, what kind of things we could do as Dallas College, I'm always ready to serve. Thank you.
Extraordinary. Thank you. Sam Santiago is in the room, and he has a home in Dallas. Sam, I don't know whether can you speak and say hi? Are you familiar with Dallas colleges?
Hi, Doug. Yes, happy to say a few things. Number one, Maria, I already sent you a note. We must connect. I will be back in Dallas very soon. I was just there about a week ago. I have a passion for mentoring. I have developed mentoring programs in corporate settings, and I was a mentor for college students, actually, over the years. Spent 25 years of my life in Dallas. Still have family, friends, and a property there. So let's connect. I'll send you my contact information here in just a moment through the chat. Doug, thank you for the opportunity. Very briefly, I think that most of you know me as the tequila guy, and we're still working on that. In fact, that's going very well. And moving from what I call the private seller business model, where most of the investors and partners were simply investing for their own personal private consumption. And that, of course, included, connections in the bar and restaurant business and events and all that good stuff. But we're moving away from that as the main ways of earning our income and distributing commercially. Somehow they thought that the only Puerto Rican serving on the board would be the right precedent. Selling a Mexican product along with the many other Mexicans that are working there as well. So I don't know. We'll see how that works. But in any case, honored to be able to do that. But today I just wanted to very briefly mention to you that we're moving forward with a very special project. Many moons ago, I had the opportunity to work in the hotel industry, and we're happy to announce to this very small group of friends that we are about to launch the National Association of Boutique Hotels. While there are large hotel organizations all over the world, we have found that there is a lack of an opportunity to provide investors, to provide operators, to provide owners, and of course, staff members from front of the house to the general manager with the right training and opportunities for networking. So we begin next week with a course that is loosely translated. It's in Spanish. It's loosely translated why and how to start a boutique hotel. And then we'll be doing consulting work with those who are interested, and probably will come out from some of those sessions. And then working with the large providers of hotel technology and other services, right, in the supply chain for boutique hotels, to develop that in Mexico, and maybe then from there take it to other parts of the world. As the boutique hotel, which is a niche within the larger hotel industry, continues to grow, certainly will continue to grow in Mexico. It will continue to grow in the US. There is an organization there already that has been around for quite a few years. They don't have the focus that we have on education, but hopefully we'll figure something out, maybe even partner with them. So the ask is that if you're in the hospitality business, if you're in the hotel business, let's have a little conversation. We're looking for connections to support this work and do the initial launch. We're looking for board members. We're looking for committee members. We're looking for members all over the world that will contribute to what I know it's going to be a great international organization, taking care of the small boutique hotel leaders.
Amazing. Another great initiative. Thank you very much. Did somebody have a question?
Doug, can I ask Samuel a question real quick?
I don't think we can. We have to
Okay,
keep
all right.
moving. Maybe
Okay.
in the chat
Yeah,
area,
okay.
if you have
Yeah,
questions.
you can connect through the chat, Gloria. No
Okay.
problem. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. We're going to need to step it up so we can get done by the top of the hour. So probably about 3 minutes each. And so let's go to Tim. Earlier, somebody mentioned that they wear different hats. And so he's wearing a hat, and you might recognize Chase Field there. Tim, however, I believe is sitting in Southern California right now. Tim, you do some really outstanding work. Who would you like to meet today, and how can we help? A 3-minute drill.
Yeah, I'll only do a minute, so I give you extra time back. Our firm, Capital Market Access, is a full service investor relations and public relations firm. So we have a portfolio of publicly traded clients that we handle all their corporate communications, non-deal roadshows. But we're also in the IPO business. So we partner with investment banks. If your company looking to raise capital, come talk to me. If you're looking to expand your public relations branding exposure, come talk to me. We do it all, and we do it on a global scale, and that's why I'm part of the Global Chamber, because that's what Doug has built here. So I put my information in the chat, and just reach out to me if I can be of any assistance.
Tim is also a super connector. Earlier today, he had introduced me to someone that, it looks like a great fit. And then I see I've got 2 emails for 2 other people. Just really extraordinary. You're amazing. Thank you. Let's keep going around the room. Hector Calderon, are you available? Do you have your camera on, or do you have your mic working? Yay! Hector's in IT. Welcome. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing well, Doug. Thanks for setting this up. So I'm an IT sales per se, right? So I'm not an IT person, so I can't fix your computers. So I work for a company called DKIX. We're based out of Frankfurt, Germany. We are in the commercial internet exchange business. Keyword commercial, right? So we get paid to make sure that your data traffic flows where you want it to go, and we take you to the lowest latency path. So time critical applications. We do a lot of work with the schools. I do a lot of work with Sun Corridor, all the universities in Arizona. They're in my portfolio. So anybody that has any need for traffic optimization, on the network, we can come to play. A lot of customers use us to, instead of buying transit. So say they want to interconnect in Dallas or New York or Europe, they can use our service. We are in over 1,000 data centers worldwide, and we pretty much can help your bottom line. So you don't have to buy transit connections, right? Point to point, direct internet access circuits. You can just pair with us, and then we can pretty much take you all over the place. So, and I put in the website in the chat there, and happy to have you guys look at it. Any questions? And I work with any company based on the West Coast in the US. I can sell you services anywhere in the world as long as you're based in the West Coast of the US.
Sounds good. It's great to work with you again. You with another member, and now you're with these guys, and it's just a great service. So thank you for your expertise and your working in collaboration with us.
Of course.
Let's keep going around the room. Rutherford Pascal. Congratulations on the new website. I haven't been to your LinkedIn profile yet, but I will in the next few days. Who would you like to meet, and how can we help?
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. So I do have a new website. It just launched the last 7 days. I'm very excited about it. The company I represent is my own. It's called Glass Walls Leadership. So I'm a leadership coach, trainer, and keynote speaker. I've been leading teams for 30 years. The last foray was with the Fortune 100 pharmaceutical company. I was the head of sales. Over 500 people reported to me, and it was the #1 selling pharmaceutical drug in the world until these weight drug medications came to pass, which and they flew by us very quickly. So what my company does is we help good leaders become great, and great leaders become better. My focus is really on retention. How do we keep our people, keep our great people, right? And culture, right? And those are the things that I can help any organization with who wants to grow. I'm looking for companies who want to get better. They're good, but they know they can level up their leadership at every level. So that's what I'm looking for speaking engagements in those areas, and for working for organizations in those areas. Oh, one other thing, I am a John Maxwell certified trainer. So if you guys know, John Maxwell is the #1 leadership person in the world. His latest book just came out last Tuesday. It's called High Road Leadership. It's spectacular. His best book.
Congratulations. I know that was a lot of work, but it was a labor of love to get certified. Congratulations.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's keep going around the room. And so let's go next to Laura Myers. And so Laura is just another one of those Renaissance people. You've been helping a logistics company get to the next level, and a lot of your effort has been in that area, but you're also, been running an inventors organization, which is fascinating. And you've also writing a children's book, and you're getting towards the end of that. So congratulations on being just extraordinary. How can we help? Who would you like to meet?
Thank you. Thank you, Doug. I'm, as Doug said, I'm helping Bill DeLatorre develop his business even further. It's Miami Logistics and Delivery. And he's an indirect air carrier, which means he's TSA approved and Homeland Security certified. He can ship anywhere in the world, but right now, a lot of his shipping is going to Peru, Dominican Republic, and Argentina. So we like to ship other countries. So through the Global Chamber, we've already connected with Mexico as well as Chile, and that's developing too. So one of the advantages that Bill has is he's small, which makes him very nimble. He can ship very affordably and very quickly. So he oversees everything himself. And he has a warehouse also. So that opens up a lot of different types of permutations, I'll call it. And he is looking for large and small shipments. It can be anything from documents to helicopter rotor blades. Also, we're kind of looking to tap into the nonprofit arena too. So if there's medical shipments that need to go anywhere from the US to other countries, he can do that very quickly and at a very affordable price. Also, like the second reason, I've kind of threefold here real quick. That's I'm going to go very quickly. We're also looking for any businesses that are up for sale or would be open to being sold or acquired that are in the 30 to $100 million range. We have a cash payer, and but the company needs to have a very strong EBITDA. So that's something I've started talking with Tamer about a little bit. And there's several people in here I've already talked to. But anyhow, that's kind of it. And then I will be joining the authors group here real quickly. I'm wrapping up my children's book. One thing that's very interesting about that, my illustrator is in Ukraine, and she's a wonderful young lady who has had to dodge drone missiles and all kinds of things. I know it's just unbelievable, but she's just now putting the finishing touches on the illustration. So it's been a very interesting adventure working, with her. So thank you very much. And if anybody has anything to ship, please get in touch with me. I've got my email in the chat, and I apologize that I don't have a professional email because I'm just helping out here. So it is just, my regular Yahoo email. So don't be thrown by that. Thank you, Doug.
Laura is Extraordinaries. Yeah, so don't get thrown by that, and anything logistics-wise, she'll be able to help through her team. Somebody who we talked about leadership earlier. One of our maybe one of our first members with Global Chamber was Gary Covert, and he has historically, through his work within Japanese companies, been an expert on helping leaders for Japanese companies be successful. But his expertise goes now way beyond that, and he helps companies and executives and executive teams be successful. He's an oil and gas guru and baron as well. He helps companies on all sorts of levels. Gary, you also are a Renaissance leader. How can we help today? And how anybody you'd like to meet, we'd love to help.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. And I'll reiterate the earlier comment, just what a great introducer you are. How you can keep everybody's details in your head is really quite amazing. Anyway, yeah, I would just extend upon that. The people that I really can help and have a mechanism to help are typically CEOs new to the role. So that means CEOs of mid-market companies and their senior leadership team, typically new to the role, 0 to 2 years is a big trigger for me. New to the role may also mean that they are a very experienced CEO and just are named to be the CEO in a particular company. Maybe they work for one of the portfolio companies in a private equity portfolio group. Or in my larger clients, maybe they are just took over a business unit they might be a senior vice president of, some business unit or a named president of a business unit. So those are typically the triggers. And the way that I help them initially is really to build the bench. So as soon as a leader takes over a new organization, one of the first things that they must do is make sure they have the right people in the right seats doing the very best work that they can and quickly. So I've got a very specific way to help them do that. I call it the bench builder system. And it's a very quick and efficient way to help leaders in that situation get up to speed quickly.
Thanks for your leadership. Please put your information in the chat area, and thanks for the long time of collaboration. We'll have some additional folks for you, and if any of you have some ideas for Gary, please connect. All of you will have a link in the next day to each other's LinkedIn profile. So jump into LinkedIn tomorrow and click on everybody that you missed today. One of the people that you should connect with, especially if you have a touch point in either aerospace or in industry or channel sales, is John Williams. John, we don't see you, but I see you're unmuting. If you could unmute and tell us more about how we can help you and who you'd like to meet, that would be awesome. We've known each other for a long time, so thank you for joining Global Chamber. How can we help?
Doug, thank you very much. I'm not sure why my video is not working, but there was a young man who said he could possibly help me repair this, who spoke a few minutes ago. So sorry about that. I'll try to fix it for the next time. And thank you for the introduction. And thank you very much for your patience with me as I work through various issues related to finally being able to join the group. I'm very happy to join the group. I would say that there are two things, Doug, two messages and two areas of expertise that I specialize in. One is growth, especially growth for small to mid-sized companies that don't necessarily have the bandwidth to deploy a global sales force and grow globally on their own. I've done this for several OEMs in the aerospace and aviation realm, including Boeing, Bell Helicopter, Textron Aviation, MD Helicopter, etc. And I've written a handbook with tools for an organization that's interested in growing globally, and how to do it effectively through channel partners, through value-added resellers, and things like that. Mechanisms that a lot of companies and a lot of you are familiar with, but may not have deployed. So I'd be happy to connect with anybody who's interested in that kind of growth, global growth, at your convenience. I should say that I've worked in 44 plus countries, and multinational, multilingual myself. I speak 7 languages. I was born and raised overseas, in Asia and in Dubai. So I'm a bit of a cultural and business nomad, but I hope we can take advantage of that here. So the second area, very quickly, Doug, that I'd like to emphasize that I'm marketing myself in and would like to have other companies take advantage of is the area of offset. And when I say offset, I'm not talking about carbon offset. I'm talking about offset programs, which many countries deploy as a means of getting capacity building into their country. I won't bore all of you with the details, but it's a very, very effective way for small to mid-sized companies to go to big OEMs that have contracts with governments and have offset obligations as a result of that they are struggling to deploy and struggling to compete. And I can give you more details on this, but for example, Boeing has a offset obligation to put $100 million worth of work into Saudi Arabia, and they often struggle with how to do that. So I've helped do that before, and it's a very niched, nuanced way for small and mid-sized companies to grow on the backs of these obligations. I'll leave it at that, Doug. Sorry, I ran over my time, but that's kind of the gist of it for me.
Great. Dwight Winkler and Joanna Moore both, I think, will be good connections for you. And Cesar, I've got those written down, but however you'd like to play that.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, John, and I look forward to catching up again after this. Let's go to now for something completely different, as we say, as Monty Python used to say. Shaban Shah, I was talking about the tomato volcano with my wife yesterday as we were looking at tomato plants. No more, any tomato plant for me is ruined because I know what a tomato volcano is now. So thank you for your leadership on the ag and support of communities to have farm within urban centers. Who would you like to meet? How can we help? And in 3-minute drill, because we're going to finish up soon.
Thanks so much. Good to see you, Doug. And I'll very quickly go through the list, the laundry list of things I do and people we're looking to meet. I'm the co-founder of Growing to Give. It's a 501c3 based in the United States. We have a chapter in South Africa, and our focus is the Caribbean, Africa, and the Southern United States, where drought happens. And so we are focused on community gardens and farms and small scale farmers to help them become more sustainable in their practices, their agricultural practices and operations. We use my husband, John Kendall's inventions to help them do that. And it's Crop Circle Farms and Gardens and the Tomato Volcano. And they are high yield, low water, fertilizer, labor, and space use systems, and very, very important right now, especially with the issues with water and fertilizer in agriculture. So we actually were chosen as one of the top 48 applicants for the world's largest environmental prize because of this, and it's called the Food Planet Prize, and it is our first time we applied for it. They'd never heard of us before, and they thought we were strong enough and cool enough to come in and be part of the esteemed group of people they were choosing from this year in 2024. I also am the co-chair of a Ugandan nonprofit called Kachini Gardeners, and I've just been named to the board of Climate Rights Justice International, and they'll be announcing that coming up. So this is the first time you'll be hearing that. And I recently have been asked to come back into the film and television and talk show world, which I've come from, and I think it's Rutherford who's just become part of the John Maxwell team. I used to work for Bob Proctor. I've had a chance to probably work with a lot of the people that went from Bob Proctor to John Maxwell, Paul Martinelli, and those guys many moons ago. But I just wanted to say that. And so I was recently asked, because I've done a 10-year talk show called The Attitude Shift, and I'd been out of it for a while, focusing on agriculture and trying to free people from hunger. So a friend of mine decided that she'd started a talk show on Facebook. It was just a little thing, and it's called Real Talk. And she asked me if I would co-produce it with her and host it. And I started just a week or two ago. And I had the honor of interviewing Gloria Peterson last night, and you have to read her book. And if you're Spanish, she has a Spanish version, she said. So she has just an amazing story and a great presentation. Everybody was just enraptured by her story. And I'm still getting over the Jones, New York's pants, issue. It was a takedown that I will never forget. So it's a show called Real Talk. It's about health and well-being. So if you have a book or you have something in the health and well-being sector that you want to present and promote, come talk to me, because I'm getting back into that film and television casting, production world, and I love it. And it doesn't mean Growing to Give will be on the back burner. No, we're focused and dedicated. And
very cool.
My husband is John Kendall, and I will actually drop his link in there, because his business is a private, business, and he's the inventor and patent holder of many agricultural technology systems.
Fantastic! Congratulations again.
I'd
Another
love
example.
to get some sponsors for Growing to Give. That's sort of my focus right now.
Okay.
Our corporate sponsors for Growing to Give, to help us reach more people, help those small scale farmers, those community farms and gardens, and get those systems into their hands, get them, start training them. I'll work with them myself. This is a Crop Circle quarter-acre spiral right behind us. That's the Rotary Club that came to pick about 4,000 pounds of bell peppers. So it's growing about 4 times the amount of produce in a quarter of the space.
It's an amazing technology. Thank you for sharing. I know you've already put your information in the chat. Please continue to do that. She is definitely someone to connect up with. You mentioned about being cool, and you are cool. And another person who's cool is Tomer Flores. He's involved in a lot of different activities, helping people grow globally, including measuring and connect and finding processes for them to accelerate that process. Tamer, who would you like to meet, and how can we help?
Hi, Doug. Thank you very much for this presentation. I am a seasoned international expansion architect. I call it right now, or I put in LinkedIn as a maestro of global expansion orchestra. So I put together all the instruments and I make it work. I make it sound perfectly. And basically, if you have a company, or you are part of a company and they want to expand globally and they don't know how to start, well, they probably will assign somebody inside the company to do that, right? And that person will probably not do their job all the time or work overtime. to figure out how to do this, and they probably won't do it as fast and as efficiently as I can do it, because this is all I do. So basically, instead of assigning somebody in your company, if you know that a company is starting or is not happy with their global expansion, that involves the US, either from the US to overseas or from another country into the US, then send them to me. I can talk to them, I can help them, I can figure out the people they need, I can find partners, I can find joint ventures. I have created an IP, intellectual property, for global expansion that can let you decide, help you decide in 3 easy questions in 3 minutes. What is the best strategy between franchising, subsidiary, or an acquisition or a joint venture, right? And sometimes with the same company, I do different strategies. It's not like, okay, franchising all over the world. No, it's not like that. Just you have to analyze the market, the company, and you have to decide what's best, right? So I am the director of that, and I put together all that, and I make you go into the market faster and save money. So why not? Why not hire me? I also would like to present, sorry, Doc, I'm going to present instead of you, my good friend Jim Cook here, who is a great international professional, but he also cooks. So he has written a book about Disney food, and I got it, and I prepared some food of that. So anyway, Jim,
Wow.
sorry, Doc, I'm just taking I pass it to Jim.
I'm glad you did that, because I don't know. I know he tell us more, Jim.
First of all, I got to start with where I'm at. My warehouse office got hit by lightning. I'm on a smartphone, and to hold it up this is the back end of the smartphone to get it on an angle correctly. So luckily, I've got several of these. My name is Jim Cook. The company's Cook's Outsourcing Network. One of our early clients called us the doctor of business startups. So that's probably a pretty good tagline. Our job is to get back to the smartphone. Because I couldn't cut and paste and put everything in, I just dropped my email address on the chat. If you want more follow-up, just drop me a note. I'll give you the LinkedIn and websites and all that kind of routine. But our job is to get startups to the investor level. Once they get to the investor level, they fire us anyway, because at that level, they'll bring in their own people. What are we looking for? We take companies who have a solution to a recognized problem with a large scalable market, but they don't know how. All right. If you are offshore, we have 3 layers. We don't, out of 100 potential clients, we'll probably talk to 2 or 3 and only take on 1 or 2. Most startups are not ready. We will filter them out, and we will tell them no, and why no, if they're not ready, whether it be competition, pricing, whatever it may be. So we take those companies to a level the investors get in us involved, and then we take them to the investors' fires. All right. Where they're at in their business journey really doesn't make too much of a difference. We are global. We call ourselves a boutique. We have several unique niche. A good example would be we use menu pricing. What's menu pricing? You go to a restaurant. It's got 50 items. You do not need to order all 50 items to prove what you want. So you pick and choose off the menu. So when we sit down with clients, we offer menu pricing. There's about 3 or 4 little niches like that to get them off the ground. That's what we do.
Congratulations. It sounds like you've worked with Tamer on some projects.
Yes, in fact, we have worked on some pretty good sized projects. We're waiting for some show and tell before and after data to see how, billions of dollars to see how, Tamer's on top of that one more than I. My job is just to make it work.
Okay.
I'm done.
Thank you for sharing. Anything else you wanted to add there? Sorry to cut you off.
No. If you need the data, LinkedIn websites and all that, just drop me a note off chat. All I could put down real quick is Jim@cooksoutsourcingnetwork.com.
Okay.
What about your book, your cooking book?
Well, I've been cooking since I was 13. One of my little projects with my own personal project. We did Disney's, we did Universal's, we did Jimmy Buffett's, we did all our cookbooks that you see on the shelves, and we just basically made it work. It was not easy, especially with Disney, but we did well. Tamara's even tried it, and he's still alive. The kids even like it.
Yeah, and I went to because I'm in Orlando. I went to the restaurant, and yours is better.
Fantastic. Put a link if we can get that. We'd love to learn more about that. One of the points you touched on, really, you didn't, I don't think, said the word, but innovation is a key part of undoubtedly what you're involved with. And Chris Williams is in the room, and he is an innovation expert because he helps people protect their intellectual property. Chris, are you available to introduce yourself and let us know who you'd like to meet and how we can help? Are you still there? Chris? From TIA. There you go.
Oh, I apologize, Doug. I heard Chris Williams, and I'm thinking, I'm Chris Bennett, but
I'm sorry.
yeah, no, it's all good.
It's all good. Company is TIL, so thank you. I should know that because we have a Chris Bennett member in the UK. So sorry about that. How can we help? Who would you like to meet?
Well, I think you adequately and very helpfully described what we're trying to do, and you alluded to it. We are looking to recruit a few additional potential test users for our software, and that software makes it easier and less costly for creatives and entrepreneurs to protect and monetize their innovation. We're a public benefit corporation based in Washington, D.C., and we're pretty excited about what we've been able to achieve. One thing I'll mention before I stop is the Global Chamber has made a significant difference in what we do. We came up with an idea that was to benefit one part of the United States, and through working with the Global Chamber, we now have clients on one side of our business in the U.S., Africa, and Asia. So your influence and your amazing ability to show up on many different screens throughout the hours of the day, Doug, and Cesar and others have influenced us. So thank you for the opportunity to share, and we look forward to connecting with folks who might want to become a beta test user.
Thank you, Chris. Chris Bennett of TIL, and you're based in the DC area, but you're working globally. Congratulations. Let's keep going around the room. Just a quick shout out to Jian Kim, who's Global Chamber, and she's from Korea originally. You don't need to say anything, Jian, but thank you for your dedication to be part of this conversation. And we've had a couple different conversations today and over the last few weeks as Global Chamber is about to introduce some communities within Global Chamber to make it engaging and connecting easier to other members. And so that was kind of alluded to in the weekly newsletter today, and there'll be more over the next several weeks. So watch that. Jian has been instrumental and will be instrumental in the next steps. Thank you for joining, Jian. Appreciate it.
Yes, for sure. It was nice to meeting everyone.
Yeah, Jian does some great work, and we really appreciate you. Let's keep going around the room. And I mentioned earlier about Africa. Nobody from Africa would be here, but we've already had introduced Rhodes earlier, and there's actually two men here, Nihi from Lagos and Munir from Casablanca. And so, gentlemen, it's got to be way too late, but thank you for joining today. Was there anything that you would like to share? Munir, this was the second meeting today that I think you were in the London meetup earlier today. You work in agriculture. You're a Global Chamber Executive Director for the country of Morocco, and Nihi has played a key role for us in Nigeria, based in Lagos. I think a lot of people think of Africa, and particularly Nigeria, as like, can I trust anyone? Nihi's we've been working with for many years now, And he is a trusted leader and somebody we count on multiple times. So if you're doing any work in Africa, definitely Nihi is somebody that you should know. Thank you, gentlemen. If either of you are available, please unmute yourself, and happy to have you say hi. Let's keep going around the room. We've talked to almost everybody except maybe Hammond is left. Hammond Burke, I think you might be out of San Antonio, right? Are you out of Texas?
Plano, yep, just north of Dallas.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
So we have a Dallas event coming up, and of course, Maria that we met earlier is Dallas Colleges. Tell us more about who you'd like to meet and how we can help.
Absolutely. My company is Sheldon Media. We're a software engineering company that specializes in streaming technology. Our primary product is Shellcaster, which is a streaming service platform. What it does is it allows companies to set up their own privately branded streaming service. So who we're looking for are companies who have content, produce content that could be broadcasters, converting from terrestrial broadcasting to online broadcasting, corporations who want to beef up their internal communications, education. Also, part of our platform is a media manager that solves two primary problems. One, it helps producers get connected with broadcasters who, if the producer is not in a typical distribution channel, our AI tools that we're building help connect those two together. And the other is also the physical logistics of getting content from producers to the broadcasters. And so basically we're looking for companies who broadcast. We're talking to some national broadcast companies currently where we're going to be updating their technology. And it's a pleasure that I actually know Nis Sanusi. We're working with him directly on some opportunities in Africa. So I'm really excited about that. And so I've been in the chamber now for a few weeks, and I've already met some wonderful people. So thank you.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing. I just had a flash across my screen, and one of the things I'm really enjoying is something called the Libby app, Libby, Libby app. And if you have a library card in the US, you can actually get audio books for free. And the book that just went across my screen is one I just finished. So I'm returning it. It got returned automatically. Thinking Fast and Slow. And so if you haven't read that, it is a bit tedious because he goes over the examples over and over again, but I think it's one of those books that I definitely recommend. It's one of probably the top 3 that I've read recently. Barack Obama's autobiography and the one for Nelson Mandela as well. Those have been my 3 favorites in the last few months. One of my all-time favorite people is Eduardo Gonzalez. Eduardo, I don't know if you're available right now, but he helps companies go between Mexico and the US, manufacturing companies, and setting up in Mexico. He had been with ProMexico. He's based on the Arizona side of the border, but he is one of those people you need to know if you're doing anything in manufacturing or business across border. Eduardo, are you available?
Yes. Yeah, actually, I just put my information in the chat section. Thank you for the shout out. I appreciate it. And yes, what I do is I help companies locate contract manufacturing options in Mexico. And also we help companies that are looking into the Mexican market, find contacts, buyers, partners. So yes, anybody that is looking to move their manufacturing from China to North America or want to get into the nearshore trend, be happy to help. Thank you, Doug.
Eduardo knows everybody, like literally knows everybody. So definitely, if you know someone who needs to be connected in that way, he'll be able to help.
Thank you, Doug.
I think the honor, and I think it is an honor to be kind of the final speaker today is Paul Martilla, who's an economic development expert. And so we haven't talked to one here today. So one of the cool things about Global Chamber is you've got one of everything, at least. And Paul knows economic development. Paul, who would you like to meet and how can we help? You're based in Southern California, and I've had the pleasure of meeting you now, I think a couple times. So thank you. What would you like to share?
Thanks. Yeah, my company is called Business Location Dynamics, and what I specialize in is helping companies to choose optimal locations worldwide for different kinds of business facilities like manufacturing plants, call centers, R&D facilities, et cetera, and to negotiate incentives from government agencies to support those investments. I've done this work now in, I think, about 48 countries, and I work across all industry verticals, and in connection with, first-time investments, on-site expansions, relocations, and consolidations. So I know, Doug, you said early on, try to be as specific as possible. Unfortunately, in my business, it's not possible to do it that way. It's more of an opportunistic thing. So whenever a company is contemplating the question where, that's when I can help. Thank you.
And so the best connections for you are what, like cities, executives at cities, or are they the companies themselves that are?
Yeah, companies that are interested in establishing facilities, new facilities, or expanding or relocating or consolidating.
Okay, so have you already chatted with Eduardo?
I don't think so, but I made a note that I'm going to do that.
Okay, I think that one makes a lot of sense. Did I forget anybody? I hope not. Thank you so much, and I'm so sorry that we went over. My wife's been yelling at me, which is not the first time that's happened. In about 10 days or so ago, we'll be married for 42 years. And so she's been doing a lot of yelling at me for those years. And I deserved almost all of it. You all deserve good things to happen in your lives. And so we're dedicated to help and support you. So if there are anything else that you think of, let us know. In the meantime, I've seen already by email many introductions that have already happened. There'll be more over the next week. There'll be that LinkedIn post in the next 24 hours. Check that out, like it, share it, talk about your business and talk about who you're looking for even on that post. And if there's anything else, let us know. Cesar, are you there? And is there any final comments, anything or anyone that I forgot? It's quite late in Puerto Rico, but are you able to say hi?
I'm able to say hi, and they're yelling at me as well, Doug. So that makes us two of us. But I think there were some members that came in and out without talking. I think one of them was Nanny in Indonesia. But for the ones that are here, I think everyone presented. So if you see the recording, if you see anyone else you would like to connect, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, there were 3 in Africa that we missed, and then 1 in Indonesia. So sorry. We'll include them in the LinkedIn profile. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Have a great morning. Have a great rest of your week. Cheers.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. Thanks for hanging in there.